I obliged some other schools at the time, but I really wanted to go to TCU. And life coming full circle, meaning Marcy Bozarth, who is here tonight, when they won the national championship in '83, I was coming into TCU in '85. My good friend and dear friend for years since junior golf, Angie Larkin, just finished or is beginning her 20th year as the women's golf coach here at TCU. We've known each other since we were 14. And full circle that Adam Rubinson is also one of the inductees, because my sophomore year I met his father, Dave Rubinson, who was coaching the men's soccer team at the time and was just starting the women's program. And as they said, I used to hit balls up on the hill on Bel Air. Matter of fact, I went by my tree today that I used to hit my own shag balls to every day and out to, and it's still there. But the tree that Dave and I used to talk and see each other, I either would hit it from there into what was his soccer field, now the track complex, or I would hit out to my tree in the field just to the left of that field, and that tree's still there. So that brought back a lot of memories. I also drove by my dorms, Shirley and Waits Hall. I thought TCU was all that when I was here in the late 80s, but wow, this place is impressive now. I mean, it was impressive then, but it's impressive now. Went by Ridgely and Rivercrest Country Club, where I spent hours practicing. The practice green at Ridgely hasn't changed. It's still the same. They haven't rebuilt it in 25 years. So it was fun to have all those memories. Of course, I got lost a few times because everything's changed and new roads and that, but it brought back great memories for me here at TCU. I'm so thankful to have been part of the golf program, for the education I received from TCU and the Neely School of Business. TCU not only provided me with the resources, but prepared me and gave me the opportunity to compete at the highest level on the LPGA. And then to not be afraid when I retired from the LPGA to continue in business and in marketing. TCU and golf have given me the opportunities to travel the world, meet so many people, make lifelong friends, many of those who are here tonight. In my days at TCU, and I didn't find out this until just maybe 4 years ago, I was fortunate enough to meet and become friends with Mr. Ben Hogan, one of the greatest players of all time. And recently, in 2010, found out when Chris Cheddar, one of my teammates, decided to write a book that I was one of the fortunate ones to play the last 9 holes that Ben Hogan had ever played. That was a late August day in 1986. So I never realized as a kid, I was 19 years old, the significance of that. He was just Mr. Hogan to me, and he was a friend. But now, looking back, he was a legend, and that was pretty cool. I'd like to acknowledge a few people that made it possible for me to be here today. I couldn't possibly name all of them, but I want to name a few significant people. They're the reason I'm blessed with the experiences I've had, and have had the life that I've had. I certainly wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for my late grandmother, my Nanny Anna. She loved the golf. She was a great golfer in her own right. She won city championships. She was members of women's golf associations. She begged and begged and begged and pleaded for me to start playing golf because I played every other sport in the book. I succumbed to the pressure at about 14. From about the age of 6, I was riding around in the cart, and she'd say, hit a shot, I just know you can do it. I just know you can do it. You can play this. You do everything else. So I finally did when I was in high school, and I improved. I got better and was fortunate to get my scholarship here at TCU. I'd like to thank my parents. There is no way I would be here without them and their support. My late father taught me the meaning of hard work, perseverance, expectations. He played golf himself, not good. He tried. his expectations were there. And his group of guys that we used to play with when I was growing up, they called themselves the Turkeys. They were really not good, but he said, Ellie, if you can play with us, you can play with anybody. It was totally distracting. And I'd like to thank my mother at the same time as Nick. I can't remember a sport, a game, anything that she missed, besides also coordinating the transportation, the here, the there, from one sport to the next. But I was blessed with my athletic ability and competitive spirit from her. I'd like to thank my brother. He is here tonight. I have one brother, and he has been my rock, my sounding board, my biggest fan, next to my grandmother. They would all fight over it, but he has. And as the same as Nick, he became Ellie Gibson's brother in high school. And after, because many people focus on my golf. But he is a wonderful father, and just recently, Sunday, became a grandfather for the second time. My nephew is also here as well. I'd like to thank Nancy Bunton, who was my first golf instructor, my mentor, and my guide to be where I am. She's here tonight. She's the director of golf now for the city of Fort Worth. She had been there and done it. She had been in college. She had played the Futures Tour. She had tried for the LPGA. Without her, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have known where to start, where to go. I'd like to thank Rosie Bartlett. She was my golf instructor while at TCU. Rosie was the coach at North Texas State at the time, recruited me. Of course, I knew I wanted to go to TCU. Rosie still took the time while I was at TCU, and she was coaching at North Texas to work with me through college. I was probably the best player I could have been with Rosie as my coach. Both she and Nancy Bunton have more passion about golf than any person I've ever met. And finally, I would like to recognize all my teammates from TCU from my freshman year to my senior year, but most importantly, my teammate, Tricia Allen, who's here tonight. She was a couple years behind me in school. She actually now is a senior corporal in Northwest Deployment of the Narcotics Division for the Dallas Police Department. But many things. She has many stories about me, and I'm so glad that she but one thing I would like to say about Tricia is when you're playing good golf, it's easy, but she made me feel like I was the best player that ever walked the earth. And as a freshman or sophomore, coming in, it really helped me achieve and play better. So I want to thank her too. Finally, I'd like to congratulate all the other inductees. And thank you again to the Letterman's Association and TCU for all you have given me. I am deeply humbled by this honor.